think. Okay. Okay, so let me turn the camera around. Okay. Let's see. Forgot to put this on. Put that on, man. Make sure I got my feet covered, bruh. Okay. So, um, okay, so the thing is, man, men know where their attractiveness is, in the ranks, because women will let you know if you're not on their level with looks. Okay, I have had this happen to me numerous times throughout my life. I'm 40 years old. I know where I rank. So I'm saying in attractiveness and looks. Some men they might give me a 4, but I give myself a 6. And the reason why I say 6 because I attract everything under a 6. And I might get my face match every now and then. Okay? Um so women they real quick they'll let you know if you're on their level or not, man. So I'm saying women they'll let you know where you stand and where you are in the looks department, okay? Chad and Tyrone, they know where they are in looks. You know what I'm saying? Your looks determine whether or not you will have a good sex life or not. Oh, whether or not you will have a good sex life. That's a better way to put it. Um, when I was younger, I was a lot better looking. Okay, because I had a whole lot of women hitting on me. I had no problem getting women into the bed. Okay, as I got older and my looks started to evaporate, I start noticing that I wasn't getting many women like I used to. Okay, things when you get to your early 30s, things start to like show up. Your skin start to get a little rougher. You know, uh, you start getting lines around your eyes and stuff. For black men, it's not that bad. We don't age horribly. Okay, but eventually, you will start to look old as you get into your late 40s and 50s. Okay, you'll start to look your age after a while, even when you're a black man. Okay, but men know their place in the ranking because of the way women treat them. Okay, if you're trying to talk to a chick that's clearly an 8 and you're a 5 as a guy, she will let you know that you are not on her level looks wise. Okay, I don't see too many dudes that's 5s walking around with 8s. Okay, okay. Now, she she will only bow down to men that are around her looks match. Okay. Now, can you luck up as a guy that's a 7? Can you luck up with a chick that's a 8? Yeah, you can. You see what I'm saying? But it's gonna be hard keeping that broad. You know, I say about as long as you're gonna be able to keep an 8 without resources, I say about 6 months. Okay. 6 months is how long you're gonna be able to keep an 8 if you're a 7 as a guy. Okay. Women know who's on their level looks wise and who's above them. Women, they like to date men that are better looking than them. Just the other day, I saw this chick that was a Indian chick. She was about I gave her a 4, okay, in looks, okay. She had a nice thick body, like I like it though, you know what I'm saying? But I give her a 4, okay. But but she was with a guy that was like an Indian Chad. The guy was like a 7 or something like that, right? So he clearly wasn't her looks match, and vice versa. She wasn't his looks match. Okay, you know, women like to date up. Okay, this is what these women do, and men can't live in this delusional mindset because women will put you into reality really quick. If you're a guy that's a 4 and you're approaching a chick that's a 6 or a 7 or an 8, they will let you know, hey, you're not on my level looks wise. I have had this happen over and over again throughout my life. Anytime I try to jump over the fucking goddamn, fence or whatever to 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 a land where there's to a land that's not familiar. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime I try to like cross over into unfamiliar territory, women be like, "Nah, you can't come over here." But that's how it was throughout my 20s too. Like even when I tried to go after the 8, 9s, and 10s, I just didn't have any success at all. You know what I'm saying? Now, did I go after the 7s? Yeah. I say I was fucking 4 through 7 when I was younger. In my early 20s, in my early 20s, mid 20s and my late 20s and stuff like that, you know, I was getting more attractive women than I am now. Now that I'm older, okay, now that I'm older, I'm realizing, you know, where I am in looks wise, okay? And I'm looking at what I attract. I attract women who are all below 6, bro. And sometimes it's been a couple of times where I got my face match and a chick that was above me, you know, that liked me or whatever. But that's, a chick for me, that's a 7. That don't come very often, okay? I know where I stand. See, men, we know where we stand in looks, okay? We know where we stand. It's women that don't know where they stand because they coming through with this delusional mindset, when they're fucking a 4, but they think that they're a 9 or a 10. You know what I'm saying? That's delusional. Females don't know where they rank because of the simps and the puss beggars that put them up on a pedestal. You know, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta know where you stand in the rankings. Yeah. At first, you will when you're coming up and you're young, you're gonna embarrass yourself because you're gonna be thinking that, hey, I deserve this girl right here. And then once she turns you down, and then the other chick turns you down, you know what I'm saying? And then you get rejected about 300 times by top tier women. You say, okay, I'm done. I'm not going over there no more. That's what happened to me, man. I stayed in my lane. As I was coming up in my 20s. I say in high school or even before that, you'll know where you rank. Okay, even high school, you'll know where you rank. See what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. If you're 5, you're gonna be attracting 1, 2, 3s, and 4s, bruh. See what I'm saying? Everything under a 5, you're gonna attract. Okay, you gotta know where you rank. And us men, we know where we rank because women. See, thing is, women they love to bring the reality on you, bruh. And you can't do the same. They get upset when you do the same thing to them. They get upset when you do the reality thing on them. When Kevin Samuels tells them, you are average at best, they cannot handle it. They can't handle it. Okay? They can't handle the truth about where they rank in looks. Okay? Because they think that they're 8, 9s, and 10s because of the simps. Putting them on a pedestal and stuff. Telling them how pretty they are. They get that shit all day, every day on social media. So I'm saying back in the day, see, the thing is, women back in the day, they knew where they rank in looks before social media. They were a lot humble. They were a lot more humble. They knew where they stood in looks. You know what I'm saying? They knew where they stood in looks. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of like females, they don't know where they stand because of social media. But see, thing is, social media for men, that's our reality. You get up on Bumble or POF, that's your reality, bro. So I'm saying, that's your reality. Men, look, women, when women, when we come in contact with women, right, and we're interested in stuff like that, or we try to pursue them, they'll let you know if you're on their looks level or not. They'll let you know. They'll let you know. They'll push you right back over to where you need to be. This guy, he's a 4. I'm an 8. You know what I'm saying? He does not deserve to be with me. And they will treat you as such, okay? Women who think that that they're better looking than you, or they think that they're above you in looks, they will ignore you like the fucking black plague, man. They will fucking ignore you like a fucking fly on the wall, bruh. They will ignore you. You know, some of them gonna treat you horrible. Like if you're like a 3 out of 10 and she's a 8, oh man, she's gonna treat you horrible, bruh. Back when I was like, let me tell you, man, when I was overweight, women put me in my place, bruh. They said, nah, you're not on my looks level. You need to go back over there. They let you know really quickly. That's the reason why men know where they stand, because women, they have no problem with bringing you back down to your reality, but you can't bring them back down to theirs. That's stupid, man. You see what I'm saying? They'll bring you back down to your own level. Okay? They'll bring you back down to your own level, and they got no they got no shame, okay, and bringing you back down to your own level, bringing you back down to where you at. You know, look, when I was younger, even as a 7, okay, even as a 7 as a guy, okay, I would approach 8, 9s, and 10s, okay, and I wouldn't get no luck at all. Okay, no luck. Women hardly ever date down, okay? They don't date down. Now, if when you luck up and get some chick that's above you, like one by one number, like if you're a 7 and she's an 8, yeah, but you're not gonna be able to keep her. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to keep her very long. You know, so social media definitely has gotten to the brains of females nowadays, making them think that they're higher, you know, in the ranks than they really are. You know, I met this one chick just recently, okay? She's an overweight chick. She's young. She's about to be 21 soon, okay? You know, I be talking to her every now and then. I try to get her number. She changed her mind on me about giving me her number. Now this chick, she's below my looks level, okay? She's clearly a 3 or 4 in looks. I give her a 3 or maybe like a 4 because she's young, okay? She's a 4 in looks. I'm a 6 in looks. Okay, this is how I rate myself. This is why I tracked. Okay, she showed me a Instagram, profile. Okay, with her on it. Okay, now in the picture she looks like a 6, but in reality she looks like a 4. You see what I'm saying? She had all that makeup on her face. She had all that makeup on her face, making her look like a 6. Okay, but really she was a 4. But she's giving me, you know, action because I'm above her looks match. Okay. I am above her in looks. Okay. These are the women that are going to give you the time of day. The overweight women, the women who got a little bit of, belly, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of chunkiness going on, you know, maybe her eyes are not as attractive as yours. My eyes are more attractive than hers because hers, she has a what they call it, canto tilt or whatever. She has a little bit of that going on. That's how I know I'm more attractive in the face than her because I don't have that canto tilt or whatever that is. The we don't where the eyes kind of sag a little bit on the side. Okay, I don't have that. She has a little bit of that going on. So that's how I know that I'm above her in looks, and I'm in shape, and she's not. You know what I'm saying? She's not in shape. She's overweight, but I give her a pass because she is 20 years old. She's young, and I let women um who are young, I let them get away with being a bit overweight. Okay, because they're young. But women do not. Okay, women do not know where they rank. Okay, because of social media. Social media confuses them about their ranking. Okay, because they're getting all that validation every single day. So that confuses women where they rank. Okay, like back in the day, let me tell you, if an ugly female approached Chad, okay, he would put her back in her place really quickly. See, the thing is, ugly females or average females, they used to go for Chad back in the day, or Tyrone, Chad or Tyrone. They used to go for them all the time, but they used to get rejected a lot by them, by Chad and Tyrone. So that brought their confidence down. Okay, the difference today is that she could get online and keep going through rejection until she hits gold. Like for example, if she's like a 6 or 5 or a 6 or whatever, and she's looking for a Chad or a Tyrone, they'll keep on going through hundreds and hundreds of Chads and Tyrones until they get a drunk ass, horny ass Chad or Tyrone that don't got no other options out there, and he'll take the 5 or 6 up on their offer for just only one time. Okay, maybe he might be a drunk ass Chad or a drunk Tyrone at night looking for some pussy. Cause I mean I did that before, man, when I was younger. You know, not that younger. I say about when 34. You know what I'm saying? And I was drunk, and I was online looking for some pussy, and I took the first girl who gave me the offer. You see what I'm saying? You know, that was me. You know, that was me. So women, they get bold just by that one yes. If see, the thing is, if they slept with just one Chad, they're gonna always want that all the time. So they'll go through all them rejections until they get a yes. Okay, they'll keep on going until they get a yes. Back in the day, they couldn't keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like before social media and all this liking shit bullshit showed up. You know, the like button and shit. You know, women were very very humble about where they rank in the look system. Okay, they were very humble because Chad and Tyrone will put them back in their spot. And I used to see ugly or women who were average chase Chad and Tyrone back in the day. They were very unsuccessful. Okay, and that brought their confidence down. Okay, but when you got online, you got she got like she got infinite Chads and Tyrones, okay? An infinite amount of Chad and Tyrone on the internet. So that makes it hard for the average guy who's a 5 or a 6 get his face match or even get below. You see what I'm saying? So men, okay, back to what I was saying about men, we know where we stand when it comes to looks because women, like I said before, women, they love to put you in your place, man. Looks wise. How many times have you, as a guy that's a 5 or a 6, okay, how many times have you tried to approach an 8 or 9 or 10 and just get shot down so goddamn hard? Or even try to approach, if you're a 5 as a guy, you know, try to approach a female that's a 7, okay? That's a couple of ranks over you. She will put you down really quickly. Nah, you're not. You're not on my looks level. I'm a 7. You're a 6. Women love to reject you. Well, they love it. See what I'm saying? But when the shoe is on the other foot, man, when men, you know, approach females, we try to get with them and they're above our looks match, they'll fucking like, go ahead and reject you, bro. And it'll feel good for them too. You know, it'll feel good for them to reject you. And that's why, the chick on Kevin Samuels, that chick, you're average at best. She couldn't take the fucking goddamn truth because she's been told that she's worthy of a high value man because of social media. All that validation got to her head. You know what I'm saying? Let me get some water. So, um, and women will let you know if you're above them because they'll pursue you. I get pursued by women that are below me, in looks all the time. Okay, I get women that are basically 3 or 4 or 5, sometimes 1 or 2. Okay, coming at me all day long, and I gotta turn them down, man, because I'm looking for the 5s and 6s. That's my range, bro. And you know what? I gotta stick with that for now, anyway. What's up, Master Chef? You know, so they will put you back in your place, man. So that's how you know where you stand in the looks range or the looks ranks. I mean, you know what I'm saying, and by females, you know, um, rejection. Okay, throughout the years. Now, I think I could have did better when I was younger, but I had low self-esteem when it comes to going after women. I didn't really go after the super attractive ones because I just didn't have any luck. But I think I was a little bit too immature to even go after those type of chicks. You know what I'm saying? Because I was hanging out with a few chicks that was around my face match when I was younger. Okay, but I didn't know that they liked me. There's a lot of chicks that told me that they liked me after high school. See what I'm saying? I could have did better because it was before the internet too. Like the internet, you know, uh, wasn't so. Matter of fact, the internet wasn't even invented back in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. 2004 and 5 and 6. It just those were the golden years for me. Dude, I had so many women, and they're all ranked under a 7. Nothing was over a 8. You know what I'm saying? But these are the golden years, man. And I miss those years, of being able to get a woman, get a chick very easily. Now, even for a guy that's a 5 or a 6, the dating world is very hard, bro. Let me tell you, these Chads and Tyrones, they get a lot of fucking like messages, bro. I was looking at Facing LMS's live stream, or I was looking at his video about looks. Right, this is an old video, and he was talking about how he was creating a he was creating a profile that was a Chad or whatever. You know what I mean? And he saw that this Chad, okay, got so many messages, bro. So I'm saying just proves that a lot of females they're only dealing with the 20%. Even your fives and sixes and sevens, they're going after that Chad guy. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I have a friend that's a Chad and he cleans up very well. With me, I struggle online. That let me know that I'm around a 5 or a 6 in looks, bruh. Arguably, that I'm a 5 or a 6. I try to give myself a 6, but I'm not gonna be able to hold that 6 for the rest of my life. I'm gonna eventually come down because of looks fade, man. Looks fade. Eventually, I'll come down to 5 as I age. With every wrinkle that goes on my face, I'll come down a number. So I'm saying, and then I'll go from a 5 to a 4, and then from a 4 to a 3. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen one day to me. You see what I'm saying? One day I'm gonna come down the rank. I can clearly say from like what 18 to like 25 or 26, I was clearly a 7 in looks. Clearly a 7 because I was getting so much pussy. I was getting so much pussy that my ex girlfriend didn't know that I had like side pieces everywhere. But I would dump my side pieces. I wouldn't keep them. Okay. But I used to get one night stands from bars and clubs. The older I got, the more difficult it became to get a one night stand. Okay. Now that I'm older and I was around 39 when I started juicing, okay. I had a I had a quick reminder of how it was when I was in my 20s when I came down and I got down to single digit body fat. I went back and I looked at a video that I kept and I saw all of the fat off my face basically. Okay, I was looking like I was 25 all over again. And I had a glimpse or a taste of what it was to be back up at 7 again. Okay, I had a glimpse or a taste of what it was. Okay, but even worked out, low body fat percentage, I still was struggling a bit, quite a bit. I still was struggling. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not like it was back in 2007, where all you had to do was be a 5 as a guy, and you would get a 5 as a girl. Sometimes you might get a 6. You know what I'm saying? If the chick was drunk enough, and yeah, shit, you could get a female that was over your looks match, okay? But now because of the internet, it's nearly impossible to get your looks match or a chick that's definitely over you, bro. You see what I'm saying? So us men, we don't live in a delusional mindset like females do. We know where we rank in looks. I know where I rank. And let me tell you, like I said before, man, every time I tried to jump over that bridge or that, you know, every time I tried to jump over, and try to get a good looking girl that's around a 8, 9, or a 10, shit, they shut me out, boy. When I was younger, I used to approach them pretty chicks, man. Shit, they didn't give me the time of day, bruh. Like I said before, as you're coming up, you kind of know where you rank in looks. When you're coming up, because of women's attitude and the way they treat you, they know, where you rank. You know, because the thing is, female can get really, she can get like, um, she can get confused very easily because if she's a 6, okay. five or a six, and she gets a Chad, okay, or a Tyrone, automatically she's gonna think that she's a 8, 9, or a 10. Because if she's sleeping with a bunch of Chads and Tyrones, that's gonna get her confused, okay? So then she lives in a delusional mindset, thinking that she's on Chad or Tyrone's level. This is what causes the confusion with these fives and sixes, okay? When they're online and they're sleeping with nothing but top tier dudes and looks. Think about it, dude. If you were a guy that was a five or a six, and you were getting online and you were sleeping with nothing but the best women, okay, you know, and you were sleeping with nothing but the best women, you would automatically think that you were a 8, 9, or a 10. Like if you're a guy, okay, for example, if you're a guy like a five, okay, but you was going around sleeping with top tier women, 8, 9s, and 10s, automatically you would live in a delusional mindset like a lot of these females do. You know what I'm saying? You would be thinking like, yeah, I'm good looking. I'm up on a level. Okay? That'll confuse the fuck out of you. You're thinking like, damn, I'm getting top tier women. I'm fucking, I'm fucking 8, 9s, and 10s. I must be an 8, 9, or a 10. See? You see what I'm saying? You see how that would confuse you? Well, that's what happens with the females. Okay, for example, that one chick, your average at best on Kevin Samuels live stream the other night. Okay, she probably has been fucking with a lot of Tyrones, bruh. Tyrones has been fucking her, and then automatically she think that she deserves a guy with looks and money at the same time. That's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? It's either you gonna get one or the other. As a woman, either you're gonna get some looks or you're gonna get some money, because she probably makes a lot of money. And if I was a broke Tyrone, okay, I would fuck her in a heartbeat just so I can survive. So she probably been dating a lot of broke Tyrones, and she got tired of dealing with the broke Tyrones, because she said that the guys that she was dating wasn't on her level. Okay, they probably were broke Tyrones that was taking advantage of her, having a good job or a six-figure income. You see what I'm saying? So she had money, so she able to get those Tyrones, the guys that they really want to sleep with. So that can confuse her if she's getting nothing but top shelf men. Because last time I checked, when I was a Tyrone, I was fucking a broad that was below my looks level. She basically didn't really have a body. My ex-girlfriend didn't have a body. You know what I'm saying? She had like a flat booty. She had saggy tits. Well, they weren't that saggy when I first met her. But as the years went by, them titties kept drooping down more and more and more, right? You know what I'm saying? She didn't have a Coke bottle frame. She didn't have none of that. Now, the good thing about her was she had like really dark caramel skin. She had like these big old like lips that were really, really cushy, like, really big, thick, round, full lips. Okay. Okay. And she could suck a mean goddamn dick. Make you bust nuts inside her mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, um, so she, what was I thinking? Oh shit. I lost my thought. Yeah. So I was talking about the broke Tyrones. Okay. The broke Tyrones, okay, would sleep with some of these average women just so they can, survive. A broke Tyrone, he'll get with an average bitch. Like I said before, I was a broke Tyrone, and I got with my broad that was she's basically maybe a five when she was 35 years old. Because I met her when she was 35 and I was like 26. Okay. She was like a five, bruh. she was a 5, okay? Because she had some things that made up for the lack of body that she had, okay? She like she had a nice face. Her face was on point, okay? She had nice lips, nice skin tone. She had breasts, but they were kind of droopy when I first met her. They got more droopy as the time went by. So I'm saying, um, yeah. So these women are confused, bro, because they've been fucking the top shelf dudes. Why you think you having a hard time online, bro, getting females that are somewhat attractive? So I know I have a hard time getting women that are somewhat attractive. I have a hard time getting women around my face match. I know what's my face match. I can look at a female and tell if she's on my level looks wise. Okay? I can tell. But these women are out there fucking Tyrone. That's why they say, you know, a lot of the women out there, they're dealing with dudes who are Tyrones and Chads, man. The 20% is basically what they dealing with because, like I said, facing LMS was online. He was pretending to be a model, Chad. Okay, he had the model Chad had all those those uh those inboxes from women, bruh. Average and up, bruh. Average and up. So that proves right there that majority of women on the line online, 80%, they're only dealing with the 20% of men. They're only dealing with the ballers online, in the looks. But they're only dealing with men who are looks, money, status, okay? LMS. This is something that the incels got right. I don't I don't I don't disagree with the incels when it comes to like women fucking with only the 20%. That's why I say for you guys, you gotta step your personality up. You have to be funny. You have to be on point when it comes to that personality because you're competing with these Chads and Tyrones. You know, like my friend, like I said before, he cleans up online. He cleans up. And while I struggle, I get these bottom of the barrel bitches, all these women who are not that attractive, or they're like one, twos, and threes, or fours, or fives. So I'm saying, and these are the women that Chad is not fucking, bro. When I approach a female online, I ask myself, like, is Chad or Tyrone fucking this broad? If I was a Chad or a Tyrone, will I fuck this broad? You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of like that's why a lot of like men are turning basically incel or having a hard time getting women nowadays, bro. Because let me tell you, I am Generation X. Okay, I can't remember like how hard or I can't remember it being this hard to get pussy. I just cannot like I can't it's just like I just remember it being a lot easier to get laid. Of course I was 20, I was gorgeous. I was 21, 22, 23 years old. Them looks were on point, bruh. Dude, I'd be walking through a crowd, right? And a female would like point me out in the fucking crowd, bruh, and get my attention. Okay, that's how I know I was clearly a 7 or like somewhere around there, bro. I could have been an 8. I don't know. I just wasn't paying attention to my looks like that, bro. All I know, I would go out and get pussy, bro. You see what I'm saying? And I would come up a lot. It's just as I got older, it's just like, that face is not as tight as it used to be. Now it's all about my personality. Now that I'm like older, I have to really let my personality shine when I'm talking to females because my looks are leaving. Okay. I said that you can uh, beat them looks with that personality. You know what I'm saying? Now I can't speak for guys who are one, twos, and threes in looks. I can't speak for you guys. I'm talking about the guys that are around my looks level. The four, five, sixes, and sevens. I'm right there in the middle. I've always been right there in the middle as a seven. I came down to a six once I got into my 30s. I might be a 5.5 now, man, because I'm 40. So you know what I'm saying. So men, like I said, we know our ranking. Women put us in our place really quickly. They put us in our place. They don't let us climb over and get into their fucking land if we are below them in looks. But we do it differently though. We let them come over. If I'm a Chad that's a fucking 9 or 10 in looks, I'm gonna let a six come over and suck my dick every now and then. If I can't get nothing else, okay? I'm gonna let a six come over. That's how I know that the 20%, the 20/30, the 20/80 rule or the 80/20 rule, that shit exists big time. But you can't overcome that shit, bruh. You gotta develop that good personality. You gotta be funny. Learn how to. If you ain't funny, you gotta learn how to be funny, bro. It's too goddamn competitive not to be funny. I'm telling you, it's too competitive out here. Anyway, uh, what the hell? What the hell? Somebody calling me this late? Anyway, man. Yeah. Anyway, so that's it. That's been said. So yeah. See what's going on here. Anybody got anything to say? If not, I'll just end the live stream. If you guys ain't chatting down here, Master Chef, you got anything to say? He said, "Yep, I don't particularly have high standards, but yeah, I'm not shocked. Most of my matches are below a five. Yeah, man. Um, that's hypergamy for females. You know what I'm saying? That's hypergamy for you because females love to date up. They love to date men that are better looking than them in the face. I've seen this happen before, just recently, man. Like I said, the Indian girl that works at um, she works at was it Domino's or is it no, she works at Mountain Mike's Pizza, right? She's clearly a foreign looks, bro. I mean, she got a nice big ass and stuff, but her face is definitely a four. Okay, I saw her with this dude that was clearly maybe like a 6 or a 7 in looks. Okay, because he had the brow. You know what I'm saying? He had the same thing that I have because I have a nice brow. I have a nice eye area. So that the eye area basically saved me, man. If I had a bad, like, was it canto tilt? That was what they call it. If I had like a bad eye area, dude, I would be not getting anything right now. You see what I'm saying? If it wasn't for my eye area, you know what I'm saying? Because my eye area, I don't have hardly any upper eyelid showing at all, which makes you attractive. When you got upper eyelid or too much upper eyelid showing, it makes you unattractive. It all starts with the eyes, bruh. Now you can lack in the jaw, but if you got nice eyes, okay, now you're saved. You know what I'm saying? That's what when I was coming up, that used to save me. My body, my eyes. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have a bad face. I wish I had. I wish I could show you some pictures of me being younger. I got some pictures of me younger on it's on MySpace. I have a MySpace that I cannot like look into for some reason. Let's see. I think I found my MySpace, my MySpace, and I couldn't see the pictures. I couldn't see the pictures and shit. And I was younger. I was like in my late 20s or some shit like that. But I was like 27, 28. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think I got okay. Um, I think I got me doing a performance on Facebook. Um, Maybe I could go find some pictures of me in my 20s on Facebook. Maybe I can go and look for some pictures that I posted a while back, and maybe I could show it off on this new I could show it off in my community section. You know what I'm saying? Of when I was younger, maybe like 28, something like that, or 27. I definitely had no problems around that age getting sex. Like I said, I used to do music and shit. I used to have females come inside the music spot, and I used to have sex with them, bro, in the studio. I mean, one time I had this one chick. She sucked me off inside the booth. You know what I'm saying? She was a chunky bitch, but those chunky bitches were easy to get back in the day, bro. Females who were a little bit overweight, had a little bit of chubbies, not too much overweight, but have a little bit of weight going on. A little bit under a little bit on top of the belt. You know, those women were very easy to get back in the day. By the way, now it's not like that no more. Even females who are fours and fives are hard to get, bro. Cause there's other men that want them too. Anyway, man, I'm gonna end the live stream, man. If you guys are not saying nothing, you know. Anyway, man, you guys have a good day and shit, man. I'm about to relax, dude, and shit. Same thing going once, same thing going twice, three. Like the video. You guys have a good night. Subscribe, like, comment. I'm out.